Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about what the wireless landscape would look like if the T-Mobile and Sprint merger didn't go through in the courts on December 9th. So, if the state AGs end up winning the case and the T-Mobile and Sprint merger were to never happen, from the competitive standpoint, as you can see here, and I want to give a shout out to PC Magazine for this write up. But as you can see right now, this is postpaid, what you're seeing on the screen. This doesn't include prepaid or MVNOs or wholesale. These are just strictly prepaid numbers. So as you can see on the postpaid side, Verizon and AT&T completely dominate the industry at 89.74 million subscribers and AT&T at 75.15 million subscribers. So the two little players in T-Mobile and Sprint, T-Mobile's at 45.72 million and Sprint is surprisingly at 33.35 million. To me, the statistic that Sprint has 33 million postpaid customers is surprising, but that number is going down each quarter, as you've seen here in this last quarter that they just reported. So as a combined Sprint and T-Mobile, the new T-Mobile, they would automatically, on the postpaid side, shoot to second place. They would have more postpaid subscribers than AT&T at that point. Now, of course, this is, like I said, this is just postpaid. This doesn't include prepaid, wholesale. As an overall company, both Verizon and AT&T would still be bigger. But on the postpaid side, the customer that pays at the end of every month, once these two companies are merged, they would be immediately in second place, passing AT&T. So at that point, from a competition standpoint, it could make AT&T just that much more aggressive in competing for those customers that the new T-Mobile could potentially take away from AT&T, and the same goes for Verizon. But if they stay separate companies, as the sheet that you see here, they have hardly any chance on competing against the big two. So we're talking T-Mobile needing spectrum. We're talking Sprint needing money. So Sprint has spectrum. They have no money to deploy. T-Mobile has decent amounts of money. It's not that groundbreaking that they have billions and billions to spend, but they need spectrum. So T-Mobile would potentially have to go for a bank loan or some sort of loan to gain more spectrum in the upcoming auctions. But then again, can they really outspend Verizon and AT&T? Potentially no. They would get outbid every time if AT&T and Verizon became big players in these auctions, which many are predicting that they will. So the landscape currently is kind of cutthroat and cut dry. Either they combine or they don't compete. Now, how they compete, if they do stay separate, they would have to seek other partnerships and deals. So T-Mobile would potentially have to partner with someone else, cable company, and same for Sprint. So that's how they would potentially try to compete against the big two, by partnering with another company like an Amazon maybe, or companies like that. So the whole notion of both of them combining, it's starting to make more sense as days pass. Now, of course, there are still some little details that need to be ironed out, like the prepaid side, the MVNO side. But on the postpaid, if we're talking strictly postpaid where they want to compete a lot more, they need each other. They definitely do. On the prepaid side, they can both compete. You know, AT&T right now is leading in that space. But if they really wanted it to, both, they could compete very, very heavy in that space. But right now, it just seems the merger is much more a priority taken than anything else. So I want to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. Now that maybe this is the first time you've seen these numbers and you're like, well, wait a minute. If they both combine, they have a much bigger shot at competing against the big two and competing on 5G. We all know You know, it's sad to say, but it seems like the uncarrier moves are done, the big ones anyway. And the 600 megahertz 5G is it's gonna kind of be meh. You know, it's gonna be it's not gonna be anything staggering that LTE can't do. The whole thing for me on generational leaps, I wanted to do something that the previous generation couldn't do. What T-Mobile is going to present with the foundational layer of 5G 600 is achievable on LTE. So to me, that's not a generational leap. I know it's going to say 5G, but like I said, it's not a generational leap per se. But maybe you see it otherwise. Maybe you say, hey, look, it's something that the other carriers aren't doing. But Verizon hasn't really, gone on the coverage just yet. They are going to do DSS, but what they're doing with the millimeter wave and the speeds that you've seen, that is generational leap, and that can't be achieved on LTE. So I just wanted to make this video this evening because I saw this and I was like, well, I wanted to share this with you guys. And I will leave this in the description down below so you guys can check that out. But this is what the landscape currently looks like. And together, they would have a much better shot at competing. Now, where does that leave Dish? If you're seeing that we would technically have 3 big carriers competing, that's a whole nother story. I just don't see Dish competing. Once Sprint and T-Mobile combine and they get to that, I think I calculated like 79 million on the postpaid side, it would be very, very hard for Dish to gain any grounds on the big 3. They would be considered the big 3 against Dish. So leave all your comments in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload content like this. Also, follow all of my social media outlets for more updates. And this is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.